From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day, this is Dateline Malacañang in review, and here are the news. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. graced the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas Convention 2024 at the Philippine International Convention Center or PICC in Pasay City. The Alyansa, composed of the nation's 5 leading political parties, namely the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas or PFP, Lakas Christian Muslim Democrats or CMD, Nationalist People's Coalition or NPC, Nationalista Party or NP, and National Unity Party or NUP, rally behind the call for unity and commitment to achieving the transformation that will bring about progress for the country and address the urgent needs of every Filipino. During the event, President Marcos Jr. witnessed the signing of a manifesto by the party leaders of the alliance with South Cotabato Governor Reynaldo Tamayo Jr. for PFP, House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez for Lakas CMD, Presidential Advisor on Legislative Affairs and Presidential Legislative Liaison Office or PLLO Secretary Mark Leandro Mendoza for NPC, former Senate President Manuel Villar Jr. for NP, and Camarines Sur 2nd District Representative Luis Raymond Villafuerte Jr. for NUP. Here is Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Hindi pangkaraniwan ang pagtitipon ngayon dahil ito ay pagkakataon para ipakita natin ang kahalagahan ng pagsasama-sama at ng pagkakaisa para sa kaunlaran, para sa pagbabago, para sa magandang kinabukasan nating lahat. Ang sabi nila, ang halalan daw ay panahon ng pagkakabitak-bitak, pagsisiraan, pagkakahati-hati. Subalit kabaliktaran po ang inilulunsad ng ating alyansa. Sapagkat ito ay isang kilusambayan na magbubuklod sa pinakamalawak na puwersa ng mga nagmamahal sa inang bayan, na ikakampanya ang isang programang pangkaunlaran na walang naiiwanan, na pagsasamahin ang 12 magigiting na Pilipino na may taglay na sipag at galing para maging pinuno. Tangan ang prinsipyong makatao, makadiyos, makabansa. Titindig para sa interes ng bayan at sa kapakanan at karapatan ng bawat isang Pilipino. Sa aking pag-endorso, ang tanging hiling ko ay mapanatili ang kanilang katapatan at pagmamahal sa bansa. Ito ang pinakamahalagang katangian ng kandidato na aking tinitignan at pinag-iisipan. Kaya naman, mga kababayan, ang mga sumusunod na individual ay kilala natin sa kanilang kasanayan at sa kanilang serbisyo publiko. Ang una sa ating hanay ay matagal na naging alkalde ng progresibong lungsod ng Mandaluyong. Hinalal din siya bilang kongresista at ngayon siya ay ang maagap at mabisang kalihim ng DILG. Mga kababayan, ang ating Mr. Gawa, hindi salita, Secretary Benher Abalos. Ang susunod naman ay sumabak din sa Kongreso. Wala sa pulyeto ang pruweba ng kanyang kagalingan. Nasa lungsod na mahusay niyang pinamamahalaan. Mga kababayan, Mayor Abby Binay, hindi pwede ang pwede na, dapat better. Ang susunod naman po ay kinikilala po natin na kumpanyera. Siya rin po ay walang pagod na kampanyera para sa kalusugan ng mamamayan, edukasyon at kabataan, karapatan ng mga kababaihan. She is a lawyer, an economist, athlete, and a mother. Senator Pia embodies what it means to be a Pinay in action. Mga kababayan, Senator Pia Cayetano. Ito naman ay isang officer and a gentleman na tapat at buong tapang na naglingkod ng lampas 5 dekada sa taong bayan. Anuman ang kanyang sasabihin at gagawin, ito ay laging nakaangkla sa motto ng kanyang alma mater: courage, integrity, loyalty. Isa po siya sa tunay na nagsasabuhay sa mensahe ng aking SONA: ang tama ay ipaglaban, ang mali ay labanan. What is right must be kept right. What is wrong must be set right. Mga kababayan, Senator Ping Lacson. Sanay ring mamabatas ang susunod sa ating lineup. Nahasa bilang vice-gobernador na ngayon ay nasa Senado. Naging gobernador din ng lalawigan niya ng Pampanga. Mga kababayan, ang Supremo ng Senado, Senator Lito Lapid. Ang susunod na tagapagtaguyod ng ating bandera ay siya nang yatang pinakamatagal kong kakilala sa hanay na ito. Siya ay walang iba kundi ang aking kapatid, ang aking atay, si Manang Aimee. Nasa dugo na po namin na manilbihan sa kapwa at ang pagmamahal sa bansa. Naging kongresista, gobernador at senador. Sabi rin nila, prangka daw siya. Pero ito ay pagiging prangka sa pagsabi ng totoo at ang pagkikiling sa tama. Sa kanya, sigurado ang kanyang Aimee solution. Mga kababayan, kasama din po natin si Senator Aimee Marcos na naunahan na ang mga ibang senador at busy na nagkakampanya at hindi makarating ngayong araw na ito. Tanyag hindi lang sa ating bansa, kung hindi sa buong mundo. Ang susunod natin ay ang ating pambansang kamao na nagpamalas ng galing bilang mambabatas. Mga kababayan, ang ninong ng bayan, Senator Manny Pacquiao. Kilala naman sa marami niyang ginagampanang papel sa iba't ibang larangan. Pero ang pinakamahalaga ay ang pagiging lingkod bayan. Vice-gobernador, gobernador, pinuno ng ahensya ng gobyerno, senador, talaga namang action star sa pelikula, action din sa tunay na buhay. Mga kababayan, Senator Bong Revilla. Ang ating susunod ay nakapaglingkod ng 24 na taon bilang senador. Kasama natin sa paglalakbay tungo sa maaliwalas na bukas. Mga kababayan, hindi na po nangangailangan ng introduction ang dating Senate President Tito Soto, maaasahan ng pamilyang Pilipino. Ito naman ang big brother na iyong masasandalan. Naging mayor ng Tagaytay, puno ng MMDA, ay ngayon naman ay senador. Mga kababayan, Senate Majority Leader Francis Utol Tolentino, tol ng bawat Pilipino. Ang susunod kong ipapakilala sa inyo ay isang public servant na noon ay madalas kong masabihan na ang ama ng saklolo. Kasi ang unang bukang bibig ng mamamayan ay itulfo mo. Nanihilbihan bilang kalihim ng DSWD na ngayon naman ay membro ng Kongreso. Mga kababayan, Congressman Erwin Tulfo, kakampi ng inaapi. Ngayon, ang aking ika-12 na sa hanay ng nagpamalas ng husay sa pamumuna, hindi lamang sa pamahalaan, kundi pati sa mga kumpanyang nagbibigay serbisyo sa ating publiko. Mga kababayan, Deputy Speaker Camille Villar, ang bagong boses para sa bagong bukas. Ika nga, may kanya-kanya tayong abilidad para mapabuti ang ating bansa. Ngunit, kung tayo ay sama-sama nagbubuklod, mas mapapadaling matupad ang ating mga adikain para sa isang mas magandang bukas. Nasabi ko na rin dati na marami tayong sanay at hasa sa serbisyong publiko. Hindi na po ito bago sa atin. Wala po sa ating hanay. 8 po sa ating hanay ay veterano na senador, Cayetano, Lacson, Lapid, Marcos, Pacquiao, Revilla, Soto at Tolentino. 7 ang may karanasan sa Kongreso, Abalos, Binay, Cayetano, Marcos, Pacquiao, Tulfo at Villar. 5 ang nahasa sa lokal na pamahalaan, si Aimee sa Ilocos Norte, Lapid sa Pampanga, Revilla, Cavite, Binay sa Makati, Tolentino ng Tagaytay, Tito Sen bilang Vice Mayor ng Quezon City. 4 din sa kanila ay nagsilbi bilang miyembro ng kabinete. Abalos sa DILG, Tulfo sa DSWD, Lacson ng Yolanda Rehabilitation Commission, Tolentino sa MMDA. Pagdating naman sa geographical representation, 2 ang tiga Mindanao, Pacquiao ng Bukidnon, Sarangani at Jensan. At si Erwin naman ay lumaki sa Davao Oriental at sa Sulu. Bukod pa ron, ang unang Vicente Soto ay naging senador ay taga Cebu. Ang nanay naman namin ni Aimee ay 100% Waray. At ang 3 malalaking rehiyon ng gitnang Luzon, Kamaynilaan at Timog Katagalugan ay may boses sa ating kupunan. Mga kababayan, sila po ang lineup ng alyansa. Sa kanilang kalidad at karanasan, mataas ang aking kumpiyansa na sila ay ating magiging katuwang sa ating pagsulong at sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng ating bansa.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. emphasized the importance of protecting Filipino farmers and fisher folk from illicit activities such as smuggling, hoarding, and cartel operations. The President made this statement during the signing of Republic Act No. 12022, known as the Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act, in a ceremony at the Kalayaan Hall in Malacañang Palace. In his speech, President Marcos Jr. highlighted how these crimes have severely affected the livelihoods of agricultural workers, compromised the country's food security, and contributed to rising prices of essential commodities. He also pointed out that agricultural smuggling alone cost the country over 3 billion pesos in 2023. In just the first 9 months of this year, more than 230 million pesos worth of smuggled agricultural products were seized. Additionally, the chief executive emphasized that the law safeguards public health by preventing the sale of unsanitary agricultural products while ensuring affordable, locally sourced goods and supporting farmers and fisher folk. As part of the administration's vision for a bagong Pilipinas, he assured the public that The government would take decisive action to restore trust in institutions, uphold justice, and secure the future of the nation's agricultural sector. Here is Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
We pride ourselves on hard work, resilience, and the rich bounty from our lands and our seas. Yet for too long, our agricultural workers have been exploited, not necessarily just by foreign foes, but by shadowy figures operating in the very markets that we trust. Well, enough is enough. Today, we come together not merely to protect, but to uplift the very hands that cultivate our fields and that fish our waters, as we embark on the pivotal journey of enacting the Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act. This would not have been possible without our legislators whose determination has fortified the backbone of our economy, our farmers, our fisherfolk, and every Filipino who reaps the fruits of their labor. To those who seek to sow chaos in the fertile fields and waters that sustain us, the hand of justice will swiftly and decisively find you. Economic sabotage in agriculture is not simply a tale of dubious deals and inflated profits. It manifests as well as hunger, desperation, as betrayal. Let us then acknowledge the gravity of the situation. These crimes threaten not only our economy, but our national security as well. It jeopardizes the livelihood of hard-working Filipino farmers and fisherfolk, and it threatens the food sustainability of our communities. In 2023 alone, we lost over 3 billion pesos to agricultural smuggling, a staggering amount. And in less than 9 months this year, we have seized over 230 million peso worth of smuggled agricultural products. Every sack of smuggled rice, every under-the-table onion deal, every substandard meat sneaking past our quarantine checks, these are not just numbers. They represent lives, families, and futures that are being compromised. So let us not ignore the cartels, the organized crime syndicates that manipulate prices and control supplies. They have names, they have networks, and they are operating right under our noses. But today marks a turning point. The passage of the Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act will set in motion transformative outcomes. It is a proactive measure to prevent the entry of smuggled agricultural products, ensuring that the correct duties and taxes are paid while imposing higher penalties on violators. This law shapes a stronger, more resilient agricultural sector that defends both our farmers and our consumers. It also safeguards the public health by preventing the consumption or industrial processing of agricultural products that lack the necessary sanitary and phytosanitary permits. It ensures that what ends up on the tables of every Filipino family are safe and of the highest quality. Under this law, smuggling, hoarding, profiteering, and cartel operations involving agricultural and fishery products will now be classified as economic sabotage, a non-bailable offense punishable by life imprisonment and fines up to 5 times the value of the goods involved. And let me be clear. This law does not just target the masterminds. It holds all accomplices accountable: financiers, brokers, employees, even transporters. We are establishing the Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Council, which I will chair, alongside the Secretaries of Agriculture, Finance, Transportation, Trade and Industry, and Interior and Local Government, and Justice, and other key officials. We will enforce the law and ensure that swift and decisive action is taken against anyone who dares to sabotage our agricultural sector. Together with that, we are also creating an anti-agricultural economic sabotage enforcement group dedicated to dismantling smuggling operation and apprehending offenders. This law provides for the development of a special team of prosecutors nationwide to expedite cases related to agricultural sabotage. No longer will these cases gather dust. They will be prioritized and they will be resolved urgently. We will confront and dismantle the powerful forces that have long exploited our system for their own gain, ensuring that justice prevails and the dignity of our agricultural sector is upheld. No more backdoors, no more shortcuts, and certainly no more turning a blind eye in Bagong Pilipinas. By eliminating smuggling, hoarding, profiteering, and other cartel activities, we are not only shielding our local producers, but also providing consumers with affordable agricultural and fishery products. This law is not just another policy. It is your battle cry. I urge each of you to be vigilant, to report wrongdoing, and to hold accountable those who seek to undermine our nation. The food security of our country, the stability of prices, and the dignity of our farmers depends on us all. This law is clearly a clarion call to restore trust in our institutions and reinvigorate faith in our justice system. As we pave the path with integrity and dedication, let us envision a Philippines where our farmers flourish, our markets are filled with produce locally sourced. No parent has to worry about feeding their children because of spiraling food prices. Let us stand resolute in this commitment, for together we shall cultivate not only the land, but the future of our beloved nation.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. conveyed or led the 63rd founding anniversary of the Philippine Constitution Association or PhilConsa at the ceremonial hall in Malacañang Palace. In his speech, the president highlighted the association's commitment to safeguarding democracy for the past 63 years, describing it as a bold task that only those who understood the Constitution as a living embodiment of Filipino values could fulfill. He said despite global uncertainties and geopolitical tensions, the Philippines has remained a bastion of resilience, peace, and stability. He added that rising maritime tensions in the West Philippine Sea have raised fears of greater conflict. Yet, the country continues to assert its sovereignty and jurisdiction to protect the integrity of its national territory. He emphasized that the administration will continue to engage in regular consultations and dialogue with all parties to manage the situation in the West Philippine Sea while developing more avenues for communication and cooperation. Additionally, the chief executive shared that Congress is working on the passage of several legislations, including the Maritime Zones Bill, which clarifies the geographical extent of the country's maritime domain, as well as the Archipelagic Sea Lanes or ASLs bill that seeks to establish ASLs in the archipelagic waters and the adjacent territorial sea. He likewise reiterated that the national government will continue to provide adequate social services, ensure employment opportunities, and improve the quality of life of every Filipino to achieve a prosperous nation. The president enjoined all the government officials and lawmakers to commit themselves and take decisive actions for the unfinished work of democracy for Bagong Pilipinas. Here is Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
More than 6 decades ago, the Philippine Constitution Association, or PhilConsa, was founded with a mission to defend, preserve, and protect the Constitution, the fundamental law of our land. Back then, our democracy was fragile, an infant in the cradle of nationhood, demanding that we build sturdier foundations for governance. PhilConsa's role as the people's conscience, in the words of Dr. Salvador Araneta, was vital in propagating and preserving it from insidious interests. It was a bold task that only those who understood the Constitution as a living, breathing embodiment of who we are as Filipinos could fulfill. In the past 63 years, the PhilConsa has remained the steadfast, vigilant, and uncompromising guardian of our democracy and of our nation. Despite global uncertainties and geopolitical tensions, the Philippines has remained a bastion of resilience, peace, and stability. Our response has been neither passive nor reactionary, but forward-looking. Closer to home, rising maritime tensions in the West Philippine Sea have raised fears of greater conflict. Yet we continue to assert our sovereignty and jurisdiction to protect the integrity of our national territory. We continue to engage in regular consultations and dialogue with all parties to manage that situation in the West Philippine Sea, while developing more avenues for communication and cooperation. Congress is also working on the passage of several pieces of legislation, including the Maritime Zones Bill, and this clarifies the geographical extent of our maritime domain, and the Archipelagic Sea Lanes, or ASL Bill, that seeks to establish ASLs in our archipelagic waters and in the adjacent territorial sea. We also continue to commit to our core mission of providing adequate social services, ensuring employment opportunities, and improving the quality of life for all as we achieve prosperity as a nation. But while our economy flourishes, let us remember the fundamental principle that underpins everything: our Constitution. The law that establishes the structure of our government, determines the rights of our people, and protects them from abuse. It promotes our fundamental right to life, liberty, and property. It ensures our right to due process and equal protection, our freedom of speech and religion, our right to privacy, amongst others. With the three branches of the government, upholding the principle of separation of powers is the key to guarantee that our system of checks and balances remains strong and stable. It prevents abuse of power, promotes citizens' rights, and ensures accountability amongst the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. However, there is much left to be done. As we stand here today, we must acknowledge that many of the laws that fully bring life to our Constitution remain unpassed, and our efforts to fully empower our people and deepen our democracy still fall short of what the framers envisioned. It is high time that we take decisive action. The Bagong Pilipinas calls upon all the branches of the government to rise to this challenge. So as we celebrate today's milestone, let us commit ourselves to the unfinished work of democracy. Let us breathe life into the principles enshrined in our Constitution. Let us create a nation where the rule of law reigns supreme, where justice is not selective, and where every Filipino enjoys the freedoms, the rights, and the dignity that they are entitled to. History is watching us. As we look to the future, let us remember that the Constitution is our guiding light towards a just, prosperous, and resilient Philippines. Once again, congratulations to the PhilConsa for its 63 years of dedicated service. May we all live up to the ideals that you have so fiercely protected. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday signed the Magna Carta of Filipino seafarers during a ceremony at the Malacañang Palace. With the enactment of the harmonized version of Senate Bill number 2221 and House Bill number 7325, also known as Republic Act or RA number 12021, or an act providing for the Magna Carta of Filipino seafarers, the law aims to protect the rights and overall welfare of domestic and overseas Filipino seafarers, as well as promote their full employment. The law ensures equal opportunities in the maritime industry regardless of gender or creed, including access to education, training, and development, consistent with existing domestic and international laws, standards, and conventions. According to Senate President Francis Escudero, the law is expected to benefit more than 500,000 Filipino seafarers, recognizing their vital role in developing the Philippines as a maritime country. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Today, we gather for this ceremonial signing of the Magna Carta for Filipino seafarers, an act that transcends what we have seen today, just mere ink and paper. It's way beyond that. It is not just a tribute to our seafarers' sacrifices, not just now, but over the many, many, many decades when they established themselves as the first overseas Filipino workers before the term OFW had even been coined. It is a tribute to their sacrifices, but a call, not only a tribute to their sacrifices, but a call to weave together a future that they can be proud of. One where their voices are heard, their rights are upheld, their families feel the support of a nation that understands the weight of their duty. More than helping just economic growth, helping drive just economic growth, our seafarers are the heartbeat of countless Filipino families. They are in many ways the heroes of the modern world, linking bridges between nations, connecting markets, carrying the Filipino spirit in every corner of the globe. But behind every voyage lies a reality that we, as a nation, have too often overlooked. Long way away from their homes and their families, the weight of isolation, of unpredictable conditions, countless threats to their safety and their security, especially this past year with what is happening around the world, especially in the Red Sea. Cargo ships and tankers traveling along that route have been attacked with missiles and with gunboats. Last month, it happened once again with a Greek oil tanker. And these are not just occupational hazards. They are actual human experiences. So today's signing of the Magna Carta of Filipino seafarers is our collective acknowledgement of these sacrifices. It is our way of telling our seafarers, we see you, we hear you, and we are here to support you. This would not have been possible. This would not have been possible without the dedication of our legislators in bolstering seafarers' rights, addressing their challenges, empowering their dreams. For this, we thank you all. This administration also extends its gratitude to all stakeholders who share their insights to make this law even more comprehensive. Our different perspectives helped us produce this Magna Carta that encompasses our shared goal to make Filipino seafarers, the industry, and the country prosper both in domestic and international waters. At its core, this new law aims to uphold the fundamental rights of our overseas seafarers, their rights to fair wages, safe working conditions, and skills and competency development, amongst others. But let us not lose sight of what these rights mean. Fair wages are not just about numbers on a paycheck. They are about the dignity of being compensated fairly for one's hard work and dedication. Safe working conditions are not just about compliance. They are about ensuring that every overseas seafarer who sets sail will come home safely. Skills development is not just a provision in the law. It is about upgrading their qualifications to promote career growth. It's about providing them tools, training, and support to become more competitive both here and abroad. When we speak of protection, we speak of shielding our seafarers not only from the perils of the sea, but from exploitation and discrimination that have too often been tolerated. Specifically, the Magna Carta will strengthen our legal framework to ensure that Filipino seafarers receive adequate training, secure contracts, just wages, and fair benefits. This will seamlessly align with the standards for training certification and the watchkeeping, or STCW, as well as the accepted global maritime labor laws. By creating a more robust certification process, we ensure that our seafarers are not just compliant, but exceptional and equipped to meet the demands of an evolving maritime industry. Clear protocols for grievances and disputes are also enforced to help resolve issues and concerns of our seafarers. This Magna Carta will also strengthen the role of our maritime institutions and stakeholders by setting the standards for the quality of accommodation, food, medical care, and other services that are provided for seafarers. To protect our seafarers from unfair labor practices, we are also setting up mechanisms so that Filipino seafarers is not just that the Filipino seafarer is not just any other worker, but a valued professional whose rights are protected by our laws. By prohibiting the imposition of recruitment, placement, visa, or other related fees, we hope to alleviate some of the financial struggles that our seafarers that they have to go through, even before they board a vessel to set sail in international waters. This law also confronts the emerging challenges of modern seafaring, including digitalization and automation. As technology reshapes the maritime landscape, the Magna Carta ensures that our seafarers are equipped with skills to navigate the future of the industry. It commits to lifelong learning and skills development, recognizing that the seafarer must not just adapt, but prosper in a rapidly changing and evolving world. To every seafarer, this is for you. You are the embodiment. The seafarers are the embodiment of the bagong Filipino spirit, resilient, hopeful, and always moving forward. So as you navigate the unpredictable waters of your journey, remember that your country stands with you, proudly cheering you on, and working tirelessly to ensure that every voyage you take is safer, fairer, and more dignified. This is our pledge, to sail with you every step of the way until you find your way home safely back to the bagong Pilipinas.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Sunday denied that Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. flew to Singapore to watch the Formula One Grand Prix. When asked by reporters to respond to claims the president traveled to the city-state to watch the Singapore Grand Prix, Presidential Communications Officer PCO Acting Secretary Cesar Chavez said the president did not go to Singapore. Chavez added that President Marcos' schedule this weekend included the staying home with family, shooting his weekly vlog, and reviewing and signing documents. In a video message released on social media Sunday, the chief executive thanked all those who greeted him during his birthday on September 13th. On the day he turned 67, President Marcos granted farmers a condonation of their debts and gifted them with a new financing program that will boost farm yields and farmers' incomes, ordered the payment of the bills incurred that day by qualified patients in third-level government hospitals, and opened the gates of Malacañang in Manila, where food booths serve the public from all walks of life. Let us listen to Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Ako po'y nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng nakaalala at bumati sa aking kaarawan ng isang linggo. Marami pa akong hindi na-replyan ng mga greetings pero nababasa ko po lahat yan. Mula sa inyong mga birthday card, mga sulat, pati na rin sa mga comment section, maraming salamat sa inyo. Gaya ng nakagawian, kapag birthday week, ay lalong mas malawak ang inaabot ng aming mga programang pagserbisyo. Siyempre, nandyan ang ating mga paayuda sa mga magsasaka at mangingisda, mga pagbibigay ng titulo at pagpapalaya sa utang ng mga magsasaka, pamimigay ng mga patient transport vehicles sa iba't ibang probinsya, at higit sa lahat, ang pagsasagawa ng zero billing days sa ating mga piling ospital. Ito yung mga natanggap natin mga birthday greets mula sa ilang ospital, at gusto ko lang ibahagi sa inyo at sagutin ang ilan sa mga ito. Dear Mr. President Bongbong, happy birthday! Your serbisyong medikal para sa aming mahihirap ay napakalaking tulong para sa aming pamilya. Nais lang pong ibigay ng aming pamilya ang aming taus-pusong pasasalamat. Naway gabayan pa kayo ng mahabang buhay upang inyong maipagpatuloy ang inyong adhikain para sa inyong mamamayang Pilipino. Mahal po namin kayo. Kaming mga kamag-anak ng pasyente ng PGH. Ang pangalan si Cathy Santos. Naku, maraming salamat, Cathy. At ako'y natutuwa na nakatulong naman tayo kahit papaano. Ito naman ang susunod. Mahal na President BBM, happy birthday po. Maraming salamat po sa lugaw, taho at Jollibee lunch para sa mga kawani ng PGH at mga pasyente po. Malaking tulong po sa mga pasyente namin sa payward ang pagbabayad po niyo ng kanilang hospital bill. Pagpalain po kayo at ang inyong pamilya ng ating Panginoon Diyos. Caroline Cabal, PGH employee. Oo, kasama ko kayo. Kung hindi sa inyo, hindi natin nagawa ito. Kaya salamat sa lating mga health workers. Dear PBBM, salamat po sa pataho at patugaw sa aming PGH staff and patients. Maligayang kaarawan po. Sa totoo po, hindi po kayo ang binoto ko nung nakaraang eleksyon. Pero sa ngayon po, natutuwa po ako sa inyong pamumuno sa ating bansa. Salamat po at nakikita namin ang inyong pagtrabaho at pamumuno. Salamat din at mabuti kayong halimbawa ng isang leader, hindi lamang sa Pilipinas, pero mabuting leader sa inyong pamilya. Pinagdarasal ko po kayo ang inyong kabutihan at ang kalusugan para sa ating bayan. Mabuhay po kayo. Melanie de la Peña, PGH Accounting Staff. Thank you, Melanie. Kasama ko kayo pag lahat ng mga healthcare na ginagawa natin, kaya magpapasalamat din ako sa inyo. Dear Mr. President, happy birthday po. Sana po ay lagi kayong malusog at pogi. Sana nga. Oh. Mr. President, ang hiling din po namin ay mapagtuunan ng pansin ang mga benepisyo para sa mga cancer patient na nakikipaglaban at lumiliban, dumadayo pa sa Manila para magpagamot. Sana ay makasama kami sa mga benepisyo. Salamat sa Jollibee. Malaking tulong po yan. Maria, alam nyo Maria, ganyan talaga, meron tayong mga tinatayo na tinatawag na specialty hospital. Meron nga isang malaking cancer specialty hospital na nasimulaan na sa Pampanga. Maglalagay din po tayo sa mga iba't ibang lugar. Para nga, kagaya ng sinasabi mo, hindi na kayo mahirapan na kahit malalayo, kailangan dadalhin lahat dito sa Maynila para mas malapit, ilalapit namin ang serbisyo ng healthcare sa inyong lahat. Lalong-lalo na sa mga kawawa nating mga cancer patient. Dear Mr. President Bongbong Marcos, happy birthday. Thank you for celebrating your birthday with PGH staff and patients. Sana mabasa nyo itong message ko. Many infants remain unvaccinated because it's not available at Barangay Health Center. Please help or call the attention of DOH to provide Penta and PCV vaccine. Our children's health needs protection. Please help our babies. Thank you po. Isang mami. Nako, tamang-tama po yung inyong nasabi. Dahil kakasimula lang natin ng isang malaking vaccination drive na ginawa ng DOH. Unang-una para sa first 12 months na mabubuo lahat ng iba't ibang bakuna para pagkatapos ng first year ng bata ay makikita natin lahat na ng kailangan ng bakuna ay nabigay na. Kaya tulungan nyo kami para talagang, kasi kung minsan yung iba ayaw magpabakuna dahil natatakot sila, baka hindi maganda yung bakuna, baka lalo masaktan yung bata. Hindi po, lahat itong mga binibigay namin bakuna, tested po ito. Ilang taon na pong ginagamit yan. Kaya puntahan ninyo, kung meron kayong mga sanggol, kung meron kayong mga maliliit na bata, dalhin nyo po, meron na tayong vaccination program. At ang pinakauna talaga na tinutulungan natin ay yung first 12 months ng bata. Tama-tama po yung inyong sinabi at nakita rin namin ng pangangailangan na yan, kaya't naglagay po kami ng programang ganito. Ito galing kay Angelo Arcangel. This handog ng Pangulo reminds us that every Filipino deserves access to healthcare. Salute PBBM. Tamang totoong-totoo yan. Yung programa nga namin bawat buhay mahalaga dahil talagang kailangan natin patibayin yung healthcare natin. Naramdaman kasi natin yan nung COVID. May pagkukulang talaga sa sistema natin ng healthcare. Kaya riniremedyohan natin yan, kaya gagawa natin ng paraan. Imbis na kayo po, na mga pasyente ang pupunta sa ospital, hahanapin namin kayo para mabigyan kayo ng tulong. Ito naman ay galing kay Madi. Happy birthday po, Bibi Bear. Thank you. Isa po kami sa nakinabang sa inyong program. Isang buwan po kami naka-confine sa NKTI. Napakaganda ng serbisyo, magagaling ang mga doktor at nurse, at higit sa lahat, wala po kami binayaran. Salamat po marami. Mahal po namin kayo. Mahal po namin kayo. Napakaganda namang pakinggan. Lahat yan, talaga naman, dapat ginagawa. Matagal na dapat natin ginagawa yan. Nabigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na gawin itong ganitong klaseng tulong. Mabuti naman at kayo'y natulungan. Maraming salamat sa happy birthday ninyo. Adrian Bianca, sana po everyday kailangan po yan ng mga kababayan natin, President. Every day should ensure zero billing for patients in public hospitals. Our public healthcare system needs the full support of the government, and public hospitals depend on it to deliver free, quality care to the people. Let's fight for universal healthcare, where financial burdens no longer prevent access to essential medical services. Public hospitals need you. Let's prioritize the health and well-being of all Filipino citizens. Naku, sang-ayon ako dyan. Totoo lahat ng sinabi mo dyan, Adrian. Sana nga, pagka mapalaki natin ang PhilHealth, yung health insurance, mas malaki ang kayang bayaran ng ating health insurance system. Mababawasan talaga ang kailangan bayaran ng bawat pasyente. Number one para sa akin, sa priority ng ginagawa ng pamahalaan, yung healthcare. Alicari Limas Apolinaria. Still thankful to this effort, though this is just a band-aid solution, the real needs of the Filipino people. It is only for a day. Still, do not be deceived by this. The money is coming from our taxes, after all. Tamang-tama ang lahat ng kanyang sinabi. Totoo yan. Ay, nako, nakakapanghinaya na nagagawa lang natin ito once in a while, pag birthday, pag kami malaking okasyon, sana nga talaga araw-araw. Ako, kung minsan, pag nagpapasalamat ang tao sa akin, naiilang ako, sabi ko, ba't yung pasalamatan? Hindi ko pera na binigay ko sa inyo, kaya hindi nyo kailangan magpasalamat, pera nyo ito. Kaya tama na, I agree with everything that she has said. Talagang yan ang laging guiding principle namin. Kung ano man ang ibinibigay sa amin ng ating mga kababayan, talagang dapat gawin natin lahat ng paraan para magamit ng tama itong pondong ito para maibalik natin sa taong bayan. Maraming pangangailangan ng bawat isang Pilipino at ginagawa namin lahat na kahit papano. Hindi natin mabubuo lahat yan, ngunit gagawin namin yan lahat para talagang malaking bawas sa bigat na dala, lalong-lalo na sa healthcare, ang mga pamilyang Pilipino. Sa isang bagong Pilipinas, lalo pang palalawakin at ilalapit sa taong bayan ang mga serbisyo ng pamahalaan. Walang pinipili sa pagtulong dahil ang bawat buhay ay mahalaga.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that is all for Dateline Malacañang in Review for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Bea Gaza.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.